Tarzan versus Kraven the Hunter. Deep within the emerald embrace of the African jungle, where sunlight filtered through the dense canopy like liquid gold, and the symphony of life echoed from every tree and vine, a presence stirred. He moved with the silence of the wind and the strength of a storm. Known by many names, Ghost, Guardian, Wild Man, but to the creatures of the jungle, and to the legends whispered in nearby villages, he was Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, raised by beasts, tempered by nature's cruelty and grace. Tarzan had lived among the great apes, learning their language, their wisdom, their strength. He had raced with the cheetahs, swum beside crocodiles, fought predators both man and beast. His soul pulsed with the heartbeat of the jungle. He was its son, its spirit, its silent protector. And though he had seen the world beyond the trees and rivers, it was always to this sacred wilderness that he returned. But now, something foreign stalked through the underbrush. It was not the tread of a lion on the hunt, nor the cautious step of an armed poacher. This was different, calculated, purposeful. A force that moved not with harmony, but intrusion. The jungle felt it, and so did Tarzan. The birds had grown quieter. The monkeys no longer played in the high branches. Even the leopards kept to the shadows. Far to the west, near the fringes of the jungle's vast dominion, Kraven the Hunter had arrived. Sergei Kravenov, known to the world as Kraven, was no ordinary man. To some, he was a myth, a phantom, the world's greatest hunter. To others, he was a madman driven by obsession. His body had been sharpened to perfection by ancient potions and brutal training. His senses heightened beyond human capacity. He had hunted the fiercest beasts across every continent, conquered them, and adorned his trophy room with the relics of his triumphs. But it was not enough. For Kraven, the hunt was no longer about survival or conquest. It was about legacy. He sought the ultimate prey, a creature that would etch his name into eternity. And now, after years of whispered tales and jungle folklore, he had come for the king who wore no crown, Tarzan. He had studied his target like scripture. Reports from explorers, blurry photographs, journal entries from those who had survived encounters. The wild man was no mere savage. He was intelligent, agile, unpredictable. A man who could commune with beasts, who could kill without a weapon. For Kraven, it was perfection. Tarzan was not just the prey, he was the prize. The first clash was not a meeting, but a message. Kraven, in his calculated arrogance, had slain a great silverback gorilla, the leader of a troop that had once raised Tarzan. He left the body in a clearing, the heart removed, the eyes still open in death. Around it, traps had been set, tripwires of bone and vine meant to maim or ensnare. But Tarzan did not enter blindly. He had seen the path of destruction, cut vines, disturbed roots, blood scent in the air. He had sensed the sorrow before he saw the body. Tarzan mourned the gorilla in silence. He placed a hand upon its chest, feeling the last echo of its life. The jungle held its breath. And then, with the instinct of a predator awakened, Tarzan vanished into the foliage. The hunt had begun. Kraven, for all his experience, underestimated what it meant to challenge the spirit of the jungle. He expected a fight in the open, a contest of strength and skill. But Tarzan was not bound by the rules of man. He was everywhere and nowhere. A shadow in the trees, a whisper in the leaves. At night, Kraven's camp was plagued by unseen assaults. Supply bags torn apart, snares dismantled, one by one his mercenaries vanished into the darkness. He found one of them high in the trees, hanging by his ankles, stripped of weapons and screaming in madness. Yet Kraven did not retreat. He thrived on fear, both his and others. His blood surged with anticipation. He knew Tarzan was watching him, testing him, weighing the measure of his threat. And so he responded in kind. Fires burned to mark his territory, poison spread on, arrow tips. bait set with fresh meat and false trails. But Tarzan saw through them all. The confrontation came under a blood-red dawn, mist curling like serpents through the forest floor. Kraven had tracked him to a secluded gorge where the river narrowed between stone walls. There, above the rushing waters, Tarzan stood unarmed, his body painted with ash and earth, his eyes reflecting the fire of the rising sun. Kraven stepped forward, stripped of armor, his spear in hand. They circled each other like ancient rivals, no word spoken, only the tension of primal law. The battle was fierce, a storm of motion and fury. Tarzan fought with the strength of a gorilla, the swiftness of a leopard, the unpredictability of a cobra. Kraven countered with disciplined ferocity, every blow calculated, every movement precise. They clashed with fists, with stones, with tooth and claw. Blood stained the rocks, roars echoed through the valley. The jungle itself seemed to cry out as the two titans battled for supremacy. Kraven landed a brutal strike to Tarzan's ribs, cracking bone. Tarzan responded with a leap that sent them both tumbling into the river. Beneath the waters, they grappled like mythic beasts, fighting for breath and dominance. When they emerged, gasping and bleeding, it was not hatred that filled their eyes, but mutual recognition. Two predators born in different worlds, each forged by trial and wilderness. The final blow came not from strength, but surrender. As Kraven raised his blade for the killing stroke, Tarzan did not flinch. He looked into the hunter's eyes and simply stopped fighting. He let the weapon come close, daring it. Kraven hesitated. In that moment, he saw not a beast, but a man more noble than any he had known. A guardian who killed only to protect, who hunted not for glory, but for balance. The blade trembled in Kraven's hand, and then he lowered it. Kraven turned without a word and vanished into the trees. For the first time in his life, he had not claimed the prize, because he understood now. Some legends were not meant to be conquered, only respected. Tarzan stood alone, the wind rustling through the leaves. The jungle sang once more, a soft chorus of life and rhythm. The guardian had prevailed not through domination, but through his bond with the land and all its creatures. He returned to the depths of the forest, where no man could follow, leaving behind only whispers and myth. And in the silence that followed, the jungle breathed again, wild and free.